Hello and welcome to Chapter 13, Editing and Revision for Media Writers. I decided to do a short little video for this chapter to help explain the concepts a little bit better. Chapter 3 I did not do a lecture for, but you're still required to read it and understand the concepts. If you have any questions about Chapter 3, make sure to reach out to me. Email me at kimberlywells@delta.edu or feel free to stop by my office in S208. I'm happy to meet with you and help. But for now, we're going to talk about Chapter 13. The first thing that we need to know about Chapter 13 is to get tricky. What that basically means, to get tricky when it comes to writing as a journalist, is to take some time, really think about your story and the process of how you want to go about telling the story. What is it that you want your reader or your audience to know? Once you have something written down, read the story aloud. Isolate your lines. Change your context if it's needed, and then isolate your paragraphs so you better understand the story yourself before publishing for an audience. I'm going to go through each of these quickly through some slides. First of all, take some time. Take some time between writing your first draft and your final revision. Take some time before you even start writing and think clearly about how you want to present this story. Once you have finished your story and you feel like you're done, you take just a little bit of time, maybe a few minutes or even a few days, and then go back to it to make sure that it is as good as you think that it is. For broadcast news, sometimes you could just simply take a quick walk down the hall. When I worked in broadcast news, there wasn't a whole lot of time to pause and stop what I'm doing. So a simple walk down the hall and then back to my computer on my story would help wonders. If you're writing for magazines, public relations, or advertising, you have that option of putting it away for a few days as long as you're working ahead of deadline, and then come back to it when you think that you are ready to take a fresh look at your writing sample. Read the story aloud. Anytime your text is awkward or confusing or you stumble on a word, that means that you need to reread and revise that section. Revise, revise, and revise. If it's awkward for you, you can bet it's going to be really awkward for your reader if the sentences aren't clear. Isolate your lines. Actually take a piece of paper and cover all but one line. Take your time here. Focus on each line one at a time. Does your sentence make sense? Do your sentences hang together? Readers really need to feel that they can move easily from one sentence to the next. Each sentence should cohere with the one before it and the one after it. It should flow steadily. Next, change your context. This is directly from our text. Make sure that the context in which you do the editing is different from the context in which you did the writing. So, if you typed your story on a computer, print it out, read it, and then revise it via your hard copy. If you wrote it late at night, try revising it earlier in the morning. Give yourself a new environment to do your revisions in. And then isolate your paragraphs. A moment ago, I talked about isolating everything but just one sentence. Now we're going to do the same thing, but with an entire paragraph. Place a piece of paper at the end of the first paragraph. Read that paragraph. Does it make sense? Then, before you move that sheet of paper, ask yourself, what should logically come next in the story? If your next paragraph doesn't link well with the previous one, you need to rewrite, move paragraphs around, etc. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, make sure to contact me at kimberlywells@delta.edu or come by my office in S208.